really just wanted some advice. I love your
I'm
stuff.
giving you advice, but you're not taking it. The advice is, ma'am, you're average looking at best.
I'm taking it in, but
okay, but you're not accepting the fact that average looking women, average looking woman who's older, average looking older woman with a 13-year-old son, average looking woman with a 13-year-old son with a sketchy baby daddy. This gets worse every time I say something. And now you're asking for a man who's in the top 10% of men. You don't qualify for one. And you're making, I don't want to have to go there, but when you put in all these other factors, why can't you just get a man that's an average guy?
Sometimes I feel like in order to fully submit, I have to feel like he's in.
Well, then you're gonna die alone. How about that? Let me just cut to the chase, ma'am. You can feel like what you want to, but women like you die alone, straight up, because you think you're better than the men that you qualify for.
What's going on, Rebel family? Today's video: high value man down. The passing of Kevin Samuels. Rest in peace to the brother. But before we get to the video, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the channel. So it has been confirmed now that the brother, YouTube sensation, image consultant, Kevin Samuels has transitioned. He transitioned yesterday. I'm sure you guys are all aware of the news. This is everywhere. It's been trending on Twitter all day yesterday and pretty much all day today. I saw it yesterday morning trending, but like most people, I wanted to confirm, but obviously I don't know him personally, so just had to wait until credible sources reported the news. So it did come out, and by now I'm sure you guys have seen the police reports that he was with a young lady, that he did feel some tightness in his chest, and then he keeled over on her. And so the brother did transition. A lot of reports have the brother listed as 56 or 57. By my calculation, he's 53. I've seen what he stated. He was 53 or 52 at the time, and that even Obsidian says, Obsidian is 53, and they're friends. And Obsidian stated that he was a few months older than Kevin Samuels and so forth. So the brother did transition. Prayers to his family, condolences, to his mother and his daughter. His mother told NBC News that she found out via social media, and that's very tough. That you found out that your son, passed via social media, and not someone calling you and informing you directly before the news went out on social media. And that actually, I saw a lot of tweets and stuff on Instagram where it was actually the paramedics and some of the officers who responded to the call who actually informed other people. And of course, they immediately hit social media, and that's how the thing was trending. Because I believe it took place like 7 a.m. in the morning, something to that effect, is when the call was made. And at least by 10 a.m., I saw it trending around 10 a.m. Eastern time, that Kevin Samuels was trending and that he had passed. The first initial reports was stating that he had been shot or something to that effect, and I was like, nah, that doesn't even sound, nowhere near correct. But then obviously it transitioned into being something of a heart attack or cardiac arrest. So that seems to be more of the official report. But I guess the cause of death will come out at some point. He's been transported back to Oklahoma, and that's where the funeral will be. So again, um, condolences to the family. My sympathies to the mother and his daughter, and any of his close friends and family. There's a lot of things going on social media. I just talk about. Obviously, I played uh, the average at best clip, or a portion of it anyway. That is where how I came in contact with, or knew who Kevin Samuels was. Like a lot of people, that viral clip is what really uh, sent him into the stratosphere, and really pushed him, mainstream or what have you. And so that clip summarizes what his platform has pretty much been about these past few years. Obviously, as he stated before, he's been around on YouTube for a long time. He's an image consultant, and he was the fragrance guy. And then he started talking to men about men leveling up. For 3 years, he spoke to men. The message really didn't take off. And then he started talking to women, and that's when he, had the meteoric rise, all the way up to 1 million subscribers on YouTube and Instagram. And his legacy for me will be that he really shined a spotlight on one of the glaring problems in the black community, and that would be the pairing crisis, or the mating crisis, or however you want to describe it, to where black men and black women are just not getting together, not getting married. And we see that with the high out of wedlock birth rates, near 70-80%. Black babies are born out of wedlock. Black women are, only 26% likely to get married once in their lifetime, or what have you. They have a higher divorce rate than marriage rate. These types of things. And in order to build a community, you must build families. And the traditional family is the backbone of any community or society. And to me, that is one of the things that he shined the light on. That is going to be his legacy. That you can't put the cat back in the bag. All of the people who are, you know, celebrating, or quote unquote not feeling sad or upset about Kevin Samuels passing, that you know it doesn't matter at this point. That the cat is out of the bag. That it is not going back in. I did a live stream several months ago called "They Came for the Title," and I spoke about that there were several celebrity or personalities, YouTube personalities, pastors and so forth, that were kind of taking shots at Kevin Samuels. They didn't like his message, they didn't like his tone, they didn't like the things that he was saying or doing, didn't think it was helpful, harmful, or it infringed on their business or whatever. And one of the things that I pointed out was that he clearly identified a pain point in the black community. And I stated in that live stream that the people that I listed in that live stream, they didn't like what he was saying or how he was saying it, but they had no answer to the problem either. And I said in that live stream that Kevin Samuels isn't going anywhere. When I said that, I didn't necessarily mean death. I didn't, obviously no one knows when we're going to pass on or transition. And my point was that his message isn't going anywhere, not that he himself isn't going anywhere. Obviously I can't see the future. I couldn't see the future, didn't know this was going to happen nearly 7-8 months later after the live stream. But his message isn't going anywhere. That you know he absolutely identified a real problem in the black community. And I said in that live stream that we'll have to see how it plays out, whether or not he's going to be effective. And I have been working on another live stream because I wanted to kind of gauge whether or not he's if what he's doing is being successful, or if it's having any type of difference. I think it's having a difference in terms of a um, a minority of the people in the black community, men and women, that more so. Okay, I'll put it this way. I think there's more men who have been positively affected by his message than women, um, because we're seeing on social media now how primarily it is women who are rejoicing over the passing of the brother. And that just shows the kind of state that we are in when these same people were, sending all kinds of condolences for Ruth Bader Ginsburg, you know, Dorothy White, Betty White, or whatever her name is from the Golden Girls, and all these white people who have passed or transitioned in the past year or so, that you're seeing all these condolences for, and these same people were. I mean, with the Betty White one, it was kind of disgusting that okay, you act like you knew the lady personally. She lived a full life. She lived a full life. Yes, she has family members, condolences or whatever. But to the way they were gushing over Betty White and Ruth Bader Ginsburg and so forth. And now here's a black man, and then it's because you didn't like what he said. Oh, well, let's say the most vile things and so forth. It is absolutely crazy that that we are in the state. So it seems that the black community is, we're not progressing as a people. And I understand that some people made good points in terms of, well, when Bell Hooks died, there were a lot of black men saying a lot of negative things. And again, that just shows that we are not growing as a people. I had my issues with Bell Hooks or whatever, but I'm not going to get on social media or anywhere and just say vile things about her. Yeah, I disagree with certain things, but at the time of her dying, that's not time to say it. In fact, whenever anyone passed, that I've done videos on, I always kind of tried to wait some time, just out of respect for the family before I said anything, with the exception of one, the Raji Black or Ray Black or whatever his name was. And that's only because, he was a coward, and he left his children out in the car, and he even actually, terminated one of his, unborn children when he, terminated the girlfriend and the ex-wife. So with him, yeah, that was just despicable, an despicable act that he committed. So there was, it was gloves off on him. But other than that, even if I disagree, so the other legacy that I think that black men will take away from this, that it's okay to be a man, that we understand what he said was truth. Whenever truth is being spoken, and it is considered bashing because it's primarily focused towards black women, then that also shows that we're not growing. But black men understand, I think those who didn't before, it's okay to be a man. It's okay to say, hey, you know what? I like women who are in shape. I like women who are pleasant. I like women who are attractive. We know this from history when we're told that, the kids look up to the drug dealer, the rappers, the athletes, and they always say, hey, they have beautiful women on their arm, fine women, attractive women on their arm. They never say they have, old, ugly, fat women on their arms. That's not the look. So we understand men of prestige, power, money, wealth, influence. They like younger, attractive, fit women. And I think some, brothers, or some brothers who didn't understand that before, that it's okay to say that I don't have, I can be choosy. I can pick and choose. I don't have to choose a woman with, a baby mom. with, I don't have to date her. I don't have to choose her as a potential. I do have options. I do have value. And that's one of the things, that's one of the legacies that he brought towards black men. Some who, yes, some brothers didn't have a father and they kind of looked at him as a father figure, but these are things that um, those of us who did have fathers in the home, instilled in us. So what he said was not, you know, it wasn't that it was untrue. It's just the truth. And then what he's saying about, black women in terms of, well, he was talking about all women, but black women specifically. He's black. He cares about the black community. That, hey, look, get in shape. Understand that your value to a man in a man's eyes is not centered on your degree or your job or your business. It is centered on your femininity, your beauty, your attractiveness, your you know how fit you are. And a lot of women took that, and I saw those. So I saw a mix of emotions. A lot of live streams, women calling in, giving their testimonies that he helped them in their life and their marriage and so forth. And these are all good things. These are, but I think they are, maybe they're in the majority. I don't know. Like I said, I'm in the process of doing a live stream. I guess I need to move it up sooner to try to find some research to see if there's anything that can validate if he had an impact on the community or had an impact on this problem. But the way it's looking right now, I don't believe so, because the vitriol is so high. There's two types of people who right now, that someone that they didn't know personally, someone who he didn't speak to directly, more than likely, that someone's words can have you feeling that out of place. There's a lot of pain and hurt in our community. But those two types of people, from the male side, these are these male feminists, these you know beta male simp orbiters, these uh gay lives matter dudes that are the most vitriolic to his message. It's like, if you like those type of women, then go ahead, but for him telling other men to say, hey, your preference, you have a preference, and I don't understand why gay black men are upset. That just baffles me. I guess they just don't like a straight black man saying he has any type of preference, because then that means we, wouldn't prefer to be with someone who's gay or trans or something. I don't understand that. And then the second type of people are the black feminists. They have the bull nose rings. The black feminists, the um, more like liberal shields, these who he would term as big Shirleys, those young and old, from Generation X to Millennials to Z. Uh, if they're big, most of the women that you're seeing that are complaining are they're on the hefty side. And sorry, men have a preference if they and again, men like fitter, younger, attractive women, and that's just what it is. Now, for the men's side, that those men were not complaining when Kevin Samuels was telling, men, you have to level up. If you want a attractive, young, attractive woman, you have to level up. You can't be broke and think you're gonna get a woman that looks like Beyonce or Kelly Rowland or whoever. You have to understand that you have to shoot towards if you're average earning brother, you're going to get an average earning, average looking woman, and you may luck out and get one above average. But for the most part, be realistic. But it's the women. It's like that's blasphemy to tell an average looking woman that who has below average health standards or weight standard, uh, to you don't qualify for an above average man. He has standards. He has the pick of the litter, and you may have to compete for a man by the simple numbers. It makes no sense. Just logically, if there's less men than women, and we're just talking about in general, and I'm not counting the LGBT, whatever. there's less men than women, less black men than less than black women. I think approximately about 2 million more black women than black men. That right there says if you want a black man, you're gonna have to compete for one because there's more women than men, and that's across the world. There's more women than men because of wars or whatever. So that means women are gonna have to compete for a man, and that's blasphemy for some reason that they don't have to compete for a man. And then to take it on top of that, if you want to compete for the top 10% of those men, you already outnumber men, and then you want to whittle it down and say, okay, well, I want the very top 10. Now, now the competition gets fierce, and it's blasphemy for a man to say, hey, you have to compete for one. So um, that's I mean that's not a bad legacy, actually to have identified that problem and to actually put a logical framework around how to solve that issue. That so it's not a bad legacy for the brother. He did the work that he was here to do for the time that he was here to do it in. No one dies before their time. Everybody dies exactly when they're supposed to die. No one dies early. You know, that brother was here to do what he needed to do. He set a conversation off. He sparked conversation. He sparked the debate, and that's that's a pretty good legacy. It isn't going anywhere. Neely Fuller said that the best way to honor someone is to continue their work. So anyone who's listening to this and may hear this, if you truly honor the brother, if you were a fan of the brother's work, if you were a fan of him personally, you knew him personally, uh, you know, you have respect for him, then continue his work. Don't let the momentum die. And instead of and instead of just one messenger, now there should be millions of messengers taking this message out here. you know really focus on what he was trying to accomplish, and really understand the message, and try to take that forward, by furthering the message. Don't let it die because he's transitioned, he's passed on. So that's the best way to honor the brother. You know, uh, Again, a lot of people want to make well, I listened to him. I didn't agree with everything that he said. You shouldn't even have to say that. That gets into the you're still you're still a victim of being shamed if you have to say, well, I didn't agree with everything he said. Everybody knows this at this point that you may not agree with everything someone says, but obviously take the meat, spit out the bones. Whatever you did agree with, then further that message on. But don't be shamed if if you rock with the brother, you listen to the message, take it forward, and keep pushing. So again, um, respect and condolences to his family, and a big salute to the brother for moving the community, or at least the culture, forward, because like I said again, the genie is not going back in the bottle, the cat is not going back in the bag. We understand that there is a problem that we have in our community, and we have to work to solve it, and it's going to take all of us together to do it. It was too big of a task for one man to do it alone. And again, he was the tip of the spear, and everyone else coming behind him has to do their part to solve the problem. So those are my final thoughts. Peace, Rebel family.